Well, kids, it's that time again. Welcome to Room Shots with Sean right here on the Rock Rage Radio Network. I have with me now. This is going to be a little bit of a curveball in a sense because Curtain Call Records. So far, I've interviewed mostly rock artists. Today, I have a country artist, which we're very interested to chat with, Mr. Greg Travis. He's in Pensacola, Florida today. How you doing, sir?
Great, man. Doing great. Nice to see you, Sean.
You as well. So, pleasant surprise. I know a lot of people that play ball in the country genre. What's it meant to sign with Curtain Call with you as a country artist? I love the fact that they're doing that.
Yeah, it's cool. When we first met, I started looking through their website, and I was like, "Man, you sure you got the right guy?"
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I looked down. They got some Americana guys, and they've got some women that in country, I think. And it was one of my first questions. I was like, "Hey, um, what's your plan with the countryside?" Well, they kind of explained that to me, that they don't keep a whole lot, just because it's a little bit harder, a little bit different business. It's completely different than the rock side. So
It is, and one of the things that I find about country, and this is I have a bunch of friends that take part. I've actually done some recording for some country artists, and the big thing for me with country is the fans and how loyal the fans are to the genre.
oh,
Rock fans can be a little bit more all over the map. Country fans, I find, are super loyal.
very, very, yeah. They stick with you, and they communicate very well. I get stuff constantly, and I try to make sure I get back to everybody as quickly as I can. But it's definitely cool to have your fans there, for sure.
So we're calling this, loosely calling it Curtain Call Corner. You're probably, I don't know, the ninth or tenth Curtain Call artist that I've had the opportunity to talk to, but the first country one, again, which I think is fantastic. So, in terms of you as an artist, I hate to do this, but I only do it because it helps the viewers, I guess,
Right.
figure out who you are as a comparable to another artist or artists. Who would you be comparable to, Greg?
Comparable, it's kind of hard to say that, but as far as more of a traditional style, I grew up on Randy Travis, George Strait, Travis Tritt. Travis Tritt's one of my favorites. So um, I've kind of got it. I grew up in Texas, so I've got a little bit of Texas root to me. So I tend to write a little bit more Texas country kind of, but then there's the other side of it where I'm more traditional, and then there's the part that goes, "Hey, I want to try to appeal to different people," and you go, well, let's do something a little bit more modern. And so I kind of mix it up a little bit, but there's still of course, I grew up on Garth Brooks too, so it's I've got quite a few. Toby Keith, there's a lot of those out there that I can just name off, that always influencing me.
So here's my, I'll call it evolution of country as a rock guy because I grew up on rock music, but there was the old school outlaw, traditional country, the Waylon, the Willie, the Charlie
Yeah,
Daniels, that type of thing. Sometime around the late '80s, maybe early '90s, you had your Garth Brooks, you had your Travis Tritt, you had those folks who, had a little bit of a different sound, but still kind of had that traditional vibe.
right.
Now, and this is just my humble 2 cents, you have more of a kind of a rock sound with country singers, right? Is that kind of a fair assessment if I
Yeah,
was
I mean, you
spot?
got more of a, I wouldn't even call it rock. I mean, it's more of a, I don't know. It's they call it popcorn country. It's kind of a poppy country sound because you got a little more beat to it. And but I've done a couple that way. I've got a release that's going to be coming out that's it's a little bit more pushing towards Morgan Wallen sound to it. But it's uh it's all over the place. I think there's you got your Zach Bryan's, the newer folky country, which has gotten very popular. So it's just it's all over the place, man. It's and you can hear something completely different on the radio all day long. So it's
Absolutely. One of the things that I know to be true because I know a number of writers in Nashville, but the the genre now seems to be more outside writers, like I guess more than ever before. To be an artist and actually get a songwriting credit is difficult because that business likes to use the outside writers with, to pitch them to artists and artist
Right.
representatives. Wonder what your thoughts are on that, and do you see a change, or are you fine with that kind of setup?
I like writing my own stuff now. There's, as far as yes, a lot of that Nashville stuff is just writers and pitching it off to the guys that are already bigger writer or bigger acts. And to me, I like making my own sound, and I like to have my own music personally. So I'll continue to write. I have gotten into a bind, where I've got a recording session and I just hate what I'm doing. And I'm like, I'm having a bad writing time, and I've got
Sure.
everything's like down, down, down. So I needed something a little pick me up. So I've used writers from Nashville, just to kind of get me through some songs that I needed to get recorded, But I try to use my own stuff all the time. So
Um, I had a chat, the last curtain call artist, which was last week, and he was from the, I think he lives in Chattanooga, but he spends a lot of time in Nashville. His management is out of Nashville, and he had a great line.
Mhm.
He said that people don't go to Nashville to be, to make it. The town makes them. I'd love to
Yeah.
get your kind of 2 cents on that, because that was I'm sure I've heard that before, but it was the first time that it kind of slapped me across the cheek.
I tell you, I've recorded in a lot of different places, and there's nothing like going to Nashville to record. I mean, as far as you got the musicians, are just phenomenal. Um, they make you look and sound incredible. So it's it's true. I mean, for a country artist, that's the only place I would do anything. Um, and going, I enjoy being in Nashville. It's just a different world when you get there. So I'm all about it.
Oh, you can still hear me, can you?
Yeah, I lost you for a second.
Yeah, no, it's just when you do this on a phone, sometimes annoying people give you a call. So I will
I
take it
got
up with that annoying person as soon as we're done. But I got what you said, and one of the things that I find, like, I grew up in the kind of the rock era where you either went to New York or Los Angeles. Now Las Vegas seems to be kind of one of the key spots. Vegas is one of those things. Everybody that I talk to, you get this sort of idea where you're going to go down, you're going to be an amazing player, and you're amazing, like you're just instantly. That doesn't happen there. There's a dues paying process that I'm told. It doesn't matter how good you are you know if you don't pay that dues, you're just kind of, you might as well just
yeah,
not even bother. Is that a fair statement?
yeah. You're in the pile there for sure. There's a artist on every corner. There's a musician working every Burger King there. So it's a
Love it.
tough town.
Well, but it's I think it's important that gets out there, because here's the thing. I mean, like, a couple of things. One, it's a tough town, and you're not going to be instantly discovered. But two, um, you know, know what you're getting into, and you're going to have to do some work when you hit the city limits, right?
Oh, definitely, definitely. The people that live there, man, they're grinding for sure. It's a I think it's a tough place to have to work daily as a musician there. It's it, I I kind of like to go, but I like to leave. There's I like to get back to me. So when you're there,
Fair
you're
enough.
just another one.
Well,
So
and again, I think that's important for people to lay out, because I mean, what the world kind of projects, and what everything, and I mean, I know this from, I I didn't set out to be a podcaster. I just kind of fell into it, but I've had a really good run, and I've met some great people. But the world portrays that, oh, it's easy, like everybody makes it, and everybody, the second you go there, boom. And I don't want to, beat it too much into the ground, but I think that, yeah, you have to. Like, I'll throw this out to you, Greg. Um, I'm told talent is important, but creating a good network of people down there is probably even more important.
absolutely, it's I mean, it's everywhere. It's going to be relationships. You got fans. I mean, I've got fans that help me. They'll throw something out, and I go, "That's a great idea," and that's things like that. Relationships are going to be your biggest thing, but uh, who who you get to meet, right with somebody. There's lots of different avenues there for sure.
So I'm going to throw this one at you because I was just kind of pontificating on it here this morning. 17 days left until the end of 2024. 17 days, right? I was one of those guys that made the mistake of saying 2024 is going to be a big year, and you know what? It had ups, it had downs, and stuff. And I
Yeah.
shan't do that again this year. However, your last 17, what do you have on the go, and what are you going to do to set yourself up for 2025?
I'm right now. I'm not playing anything till after the first, and I'm right now just working on. I'm writing right now. I've got some studio time set up for January, so I'm kind of in that frame of mind of getting my new music out. So I'm trying to get things planned for 25. But that's my Christmas is going to be writing.
Well, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because I mean, you have to continually do that. I mean, with I like I say, I'm a drummer, but I also rep artists. I know that every day I think the stat is 140 now, 140,000 new songs get put on streaming services.
Yeah.
So the game is to always be doing something that separates you from, as you said, the pile.
Exactly. And thanks, somebody's calling me. But I try to do the same thing. I try to not be the same song the same way every time. I try to make it something a little bit different as far as me, and hopefully it sounds a little bit different to somebody else. So it's something that maybe catches somebody's ear, catches a fan that I mean that's kind of cool. Something different that it's not just the same old traditional country song. You know.
A fun time here with the courses, but we're our way through it. Um, I guess just before we wrap here, because we like to come up about 15 minutes because people's attention spans are what they are,
Oh
right?
yeah.
What what do you have planned for 2025 to engage your audience and try to keep people interested? Because that's a tough game in itself, right?
Yeah, I know my TikTok has been a little bit lacking, just because I've been focused on getting all my things in a row, and then we had curtain call happen, and so I've been very busy getting everything they need from me, but I'm really going to get back into my social media a lot harder, a lot more planned things going on with that, daily posting at least, um, and a planned post of some type. One of my next song coming out is called "Boots Down Low," and it's kind of a dance. I was written for a dance song, so that's one of the things I'm working on right now with a line dance instructor. She's putting some things together for that, for some video work, and so that's kind of what I'm working on right now, as far as release wise. But that's going to help out with some TikTok stuff. There's be a TikTok boots down low challenge, that kind of thing. So I'm excited about getting into that. So that'll be a new part of this where I'm on there all the time. So
And in 2025, I'm going to actually be hosting a country podcast. I've been asked to host a country podcast, so I'll have to get you on for that, for
absolutely,
sure. In the
anytime.
meantime, where do the viewers and my listeners and everybody that's watching this on the Rock Rage Radio Network, where do they find out more about Greg Travis?
I'm on I'm on every social media you can think of. Spotify's probably a great one. Greg Travis or Greg Travis Music anywhere out there. And as far as website, it's thegregtravis.com. I had a bunch of competing Greg Travises out there, so I am thegregtravis.com. So
That's like when you're watching NFL football and they say, Greg Travis, the Michigan State University, right? It's like you got to throw that down these days. Look,
exactly.
my friend, I want to thank you for doing this. It's great to talk to somebody from a different genre because I always like part of my goal in doing this is learning, and I did today. So thank you so much.
Hey, Sean, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for your time.
We're back on the Rock Rage Radio Network after this.